Good afternoon. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I've stopped using the ones from last year, so I thought I'd make some new ones. I've had a lot of questions about writing for your child here at this point in the year of kindergarten. And I wanted you to kind of get a idea of what we're looking for, what the expectations are. The majority of the kids in the classroom are able to make a plan for a sentence and carry out that plan. They're very simple sentences. We've written opinion pieces telling how they feel. We've talked about that they could say, I like, I love, my favorite is, I do not like, I do not love. Just being able to express an opinion about how you feel about something. We've been using books to kind of be a jumping off point for that. Uh, Reading two books that are very similar, like a traditional Three Little Pigs and then a spinoff, which is Tortuga in Trouble. And choosing which one do you like and why do you like it? What makes you like that book better than the other one? The sight words that the kids have been bringing home comes into play. They are responsible for spelling those words and reading those words. So once they've had them, they, just can't remember them for a short amount of time. They must remember them and always go back to them because they are going to appear in all the books that we read, and they're going to use them a lot in the writing that they do. So let me show you. We have this in the classroom, and it's our writing goals. And I know it's hard to see, but the kids, they're in the different levels. And so things that we're looking for, are they using finger spaces in their writing? If they're not, then they're still stuck in that particular level before we call it graduating to the next level. We have a lot of kids that are working in that word wall words, the words that we've gone over together in class, as well as the words that they've had individually that they're working on. Kids are getting in touch with sight words whole group, which I teach one word a week so that they don't get overwhelmed. There are lots of words that are going to appear in the poems that we read, but I just try to pick one of the sight words from that poem to really focus on. Those words end up on our word wall. I can pick up the computer and see. I don't know if you guys have noticed when you are in the classroom, but there's the alphabet A through Z, and then the letters or the words that we go over get put underneath the letter that they begin with. So those are there for them to always access and use, as well as getting some sight words from the guided reading group, which they get introduced to a brand new one every other day when I introduce a book. And I kind of gauge it from what they're working on their personal list. A lot of them that are in the same reading group are having those same words every week. So I just try to support what they're already doing independently. To pull it back a little bit, you can see the next step is, am I putting a period at the end of my sentence? How do I show my reader that I'm finished with my sentence? And that's one of the first things that they learn, that they put that period. That lets the reader know that I'm done with that sentence and I'm going on to the next. The next one, I don't know if you can see, it's say it slow and write what you hear. And this is where they struggle a lot. They don't have the confidence. They're working with Miss Patterson in the spelling groups, focusing on that first sound. Now a lot of the groups have moved on to doing those ending sounds. And I even have some kids that can hear those middle sounds as well. So just being able to take their time and listen to all the sounds in a word. So if the word is club, club, and I tell them say it really nice and slow, like a little old grandma, club. There are 4 sounds in club, so there needs to be 4 sounds that you write on your paper. Right now, that's just a building a confidence thing. They can stretch it when I'm there, helping them and coaching them through it, but I'm looking for that independence. We've got a lot of kids that are sitting there. The next step that they'll do, am I putting a capital letter at the beginning of my sentence? That's one of the things that are on down the road, because right now we're really wanting to get the meat. We want them to have a plan and actually get something on the paper. I'm not worried about the grammar right now. I just want them to feel confident and and try to get that sentence on the paper. Once they can do that, then we'll go into the grammatical stuff and say, hey, when you start a sentence, it always starts with a capital letter. Sometimes I mentioned that already, and I don't really drill down on them. But this is our writing goals. Down underneath, there's no one on there quite yet. We're looking for students to be able to write a beginning, a middle, and end to a story. So having a 3-part story. They'll use words like first, next, then, and last. Then they're using those descriptive words, they talk about that they see a cat. Well, you need to give your reader some details so that they can really picture that cat that you're talking about in your writing. I see a little gray cat. That is what they'll eventually work up to, adding some details in their story. And then adding some supportive details. I went down the slide. Well, did you go down the slide really, really slow? You know how some kids, they drag their feet and go down the slide so slow. Or did you go down the slide really, really fast? So I went down the slide. It was really fast. Just adding those descriptive details to give you some more action and give the reader an understanding of what's happening in your story. And then they eventually make it up to what's called the stellar writer. So let me show you how we kind of coach them through. Let's share the screen. Awesome. Okay, so basically they get a piece of paper that half of it is for pictures and the other half is for writing. So the blank part at the top is for pictures and the ones with the words are going to be for writing. And that's what we always talk about, that the picture goes at the top and the words go at the bottom. For kindergarten, their kind of planning and jumping off point is going to be their picture. That is what they always can go back to. They can reference. What is it that I'm writing about? What story am I trying to tell? So just to do something really, really quick, I'll just draw a picture. We read this story about the big bad wolf, and I am not an artist by any means. So there's the big bad wolf, and he was dressed up as Grandma. And in the book Tortuga in Trouble, it was a turtle instead of Little Red Riding Hood that was taking the basket to the grandma. And he had his basket on his back. Okay. All right, so they would do a more detailed picture because that's what we need. We need them to put those details in the picture so they can reference back to it to see exactly what is it that they're going to be writing about. So now I have my picture and I'm forming an opinion because we're working on opinion pieces about how I like Tortuga in Trouble. And the reason I like Tortuga in Trouble is because the some of the reasons they give that the wolf, or it was a coyote in this story, the coyote dressed up like Grandma. And that's the reason I like Tortuga in Trouble. So after they get finished with their picture, that's what I'll ask them. Okay, how do you feel about this? Which book did you like and why did you like it? And this is where they make a plan. They don't realize they're making a plan. They are telling me their opinion. And I listen to them and I say, yes, that's your plan. So I may ask them, why do you like Tortuga in Trouble? Well, I like Tortuga in Trouble because the coyote dressed up like Grandma. And I'll go, there's your plan. That's what you're going to write. So let's say it again. I like Tortuga in Trouble because the coyote dressed up like Grandma. We repeat it 3-4 times. I want them to keep that plan in their head. A lot of times that the kids start making the sentence and they forget their plan and then they add in the wrong word and then it makes absolutely no sense. So repeat, repeat, repeat. So I like Tortuga in Trouble because the coyote dressed up like Grandma. So now it's time to write. So I say, okay, let's do it. What's your first word? They should be able to tell you I is their first word. They know that when the I is by itself, it has a top and a bottom. Now, every time we add a new word, we always go back and read. This helps them when they are adding the next word that it's going to make sense. It's like reviewing that plan. So now we're going to go back and read. I like. Well, like is one of the words that we have learned. It's on our word wall in the whole classroom. It's been in one of our poems, so everybody is responsible for it. If they don't know how to spell it, they have it on their word wall in the room. It's also in their personal word wall book in their writer's toolkit, which has a linking chart. It has a reminder. It's a little pencil to remember all the things that they're responsible for that they've met on this writing goals chart. So like, they're going to find it on the word wall, they're going to find it in their personal word wall, or they're just going to pull it from their brains. L-I-K-E. Yes, I want that spelled correctly because that's a word that we've gone over. Now, I just added a new word. My job is to be a good writer and go back and read. I like Tortuga. Now, I don't have the book in front of me. I don't know how to spell Tortuga. So what do good writers do when they don't know how to spell a word? Our strategy is say it slow and write what you hear. So the kids are not responsible for spelling Tortuga the right way. They are responsible for spelling what they hear, writing what they hear. So tor, they should be able to hear that first sound. Or they may hear the O, or they may go straight for the R. It doesn't matter. It's what they hear. Tortuga. They may hear that other T, tortu, and they may hear two. We've taught them also that if they hear a little word inside of a bigger word, use that. Use what they know. That's what we're doing right now in kindergarten. We're using what we know and applying it, regardless if it is right or not. Now, if it's way off base and they're spelling Tortuga with an X and a Q and a V, then yeah, you need to correct them. But if they're very, very close, let them do it. They're saying it slow. They're writing what they hear. It's building their confidence and stretching a word. So we've got Tortuga, and they may do they may not do the A. Like I said, let them do it as long as it's not way off base. I just add Tortuga, so let's go back and read. I like Tortuga in. In's one of our words. It's on our word wall. So if they don't have it in their head, they've got the word wall to refer back to. And I expect that one to be spelled correctly. Now, good writers always go back and read. I like Tortuga in trouble. I don't know how to spell trouble. What do good writers do when they don't know how to spell a word? They say it slow and write what they hear. So trouble. Oh, that's typically what we get. Trouble. That's what they hear. That's what they write. Now it's time to add a new word. Good writers always go back and read. I like Tortuga in trouble because. Now, we don't know how to spell because. Some of our kids are getting close to learning that word, but nobody's there yet. So I'm going to say it slow and write what I hear. We told them that a strong E sound puts two E's, so that's probably what they're going to put. I'm getting them to use what they know. Because. If your child ends up just putting like a BS, because they're hearing the beginning and ending, that's fine. It's what they hear. Good writers always go back and read. I like Tortuga in trouble because the. Well, the is one of the words that we've covered. THE. It's on our word wall. I expect it to be spelled the right way. I like Tortuga in trouble because the coyote. Now, I don't know how to spell coyote. Good writers always go back, always stretch the word. Say it slow and write what they hear. They may put a K. Let them put the K. Coyote. So a couple of them do it this way. That's what they hear. That's what they write. I like Tortuga in trouble because the coyote dressed. Okay. Again, say it slow and write what they hear. You will see them do this. Nobody has gone and learned the blends yet. Those letters that the two letters come together and they make a blend. They're not making a total new sound. They keep their identity of sounds, but they work together to make that dr. So that would be a DR. My kids don't know that yet. They haven't gone on to blends. They are hearing that dr. They're going to put a J. That is fine. Dressed. Good writers, go back and read. I like Tortuga in trouble because the coyote dressed up. Up is one of our words that is on the word wall, so I'm going to spell it correctly. I like Tortuga in trouble because the coyote dressed up like. Oh my word, there's that word like. I like Tortuga in trouble because the coyote dressed up like grandma. I don't know how to spell grandma. Again, there's a blend there. You may have some kids that can actually hear that grr because that's easier to hear than the dr, that dr, because that sounds more like a J sound. Grr. They may just do grandma. Or I've even had them do that grandma. Okay? So whatever is fine, as long as it's very, very close. I like Tortuga in trouble because the coyote dressed up like grandma. Now, this is the point where I ask them, are you finished with your sentence? They say yes. I ask them, how do you show your reader that you're finished? And they're going to tell me they put a period. Now, that's basically it. We're just having them write like one sentence. You don't have to stop there. You know, if they get done really quick and this is pretty easy for them, I encourage them to write more. So that's what you should do at home as well. Just give that support. Encourage, encourage, encourage. What they're doing is building that confidence. They've got some brand new skills. They're trying to apply them. And we're here to kind of give that support and be their cheerleader, be their coach, and push them forward and say, yeah, use what you know. You can do it. And they get really excited when you can actually read what it is that they wrote without you just like sitting right there at them. They're like, wow, that is what I wrote. And they feel really proud of themselves. So that was just kind of like a quick little rundown of what we do for writing and what it should look like and sound like. But let's see, make sure we're on there. Okay. And the screen share should be gone. Okay. So if you have any questions, you always know my door's open. Anytime you can send me a message on Dojo, you can send me an email. Like I've told a lot of parents, I don't have a lot of time during the day because we are constantly with and doing with the kids. There is not a moment of downtime at all in here. I wish there were, but we are constantly moving and shaking in here. So the first time I get to check any emails or any messages on Dojo is usually in the afternoon, and it's usually after school. Every once in a while, I'll have a moment during planning when we're not planning as a grade level, but if it's like an emergency is something you really need me to see, call Miss Purdue in the office and she'll get the message to me or whatever it is that you need. There's an open door policy. Please, you don't have to call and say, please let me come. No, come on in. Come on in and help. The more hands on, the better. We have lots of students that would really thrive at having somebody listen to them read when they're in station. We just lost our high school helper who was really good about keeping the kids on tasks. And we've started a new thing, give them points. If you didn't get your work done, then me and Miss Patterson get a point. If you do get your work done, the students get a point. And on Friday, depending on whoever has the most points gets a prize. I told them that Miss Patterson and I are going out to eat. That they, a lot of kids did not finish their work last week. So Miss Patterson and I got a lot of points. And we got to go eat at Olive Garden. And they want to know what their prize is. And I told them they need to work, complete their work. When they go into station, it's draw a picture, write a sentence. I have a lot of people that have absolutely nothing on their paper, and they wait for me. It's a confidence issue. What is it she wants me to do? I can't do it without her sitting right here coaching me along. So if you're working on this writing at home, that's going to help that part of the classroom. They get writing all throughout the day. We write together as a whole group. We do something called interactive writing where we come up with a plan together and I share the pen and they write on the easel, and they're also writing on their whiteboards the plan that they made. They also get to write with me in guided reading every other day. I use a sight word that I have taught them and use it in a sentence, making the plan, talking about all these writer's goals that we use. And then what I've also started to help build confidence is working with about 4 kids every morning for an entire week. Miss Patterson gets a group of 4. I get a group of 4. And it's whatever they want to write about. What's your plan? What is it you want to write about? And it's just encouraging and it's building that confidence. So when they go to do something on their own, they feel confident and can try it. We've put a lot on them and asked them to do it, and they've come through. It's just building that confidence now. So thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, let me know. Thanks.